Nice stuff, man.
I'm here at the Palladium Theater in the heart of Times Square, New York City. And with me, I have the editor-in-chief and the guy who goes way back to House of Boxing before YouTube, before all these other websites came about, Doug Fischer. Doug, today we're here to announce the mega card happening in Times Square with Rolly Romero against Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez, and then Teofimo Lopez against Arnold Barboza. Talk to about this heck of a card.
It's a groundbreaking card because of where it's taking place. Times Square, to my knowledge, has never been done before. They've never had outdoor fights, not in that location. It's a tough location to reserve. It's very expensive. There's no way you can make money in terms of tickets. It's going to be free to the public. Anybody walking by there, anybody there on May 2nd, walking around around 6, 7 o'clock, they're going to hear it. They're going to look, what's that going on over there? And as soon as they get close, they're going to see all these giant screens and be like, boxing? Here? Right? Is this live? And they're going to stop. They're going to stop and watch. If you're, like an outdoor cafe or something, you're going to be like, all right, you're going to move your table around and like, oh, free boxing, And even if you're not a boxing fan, it's going to pull you in. Because I think the matchups are good. I think the matchups are to where there's going to be drama. Drama's going to be created either because these guys don't like each other, and we have that with Arnold Barboza and Teofimo Lopez. I don't know how personal it is for Teofimo, but I know for Arnold, it's personal. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove something, even though he's 32-0. All he does is win. So the dude's a winner, and obviously he's not just coming to win. He believes he's going to win, and that's the way it is for all of the underdogs. There's odds favorites in this on this card. Ryan is a favorite. Devin Haney is a favorite. Teofimo Lopez is a favorite. But the guys that they're fighting, if you talk to them, there's no doubt in their mind. Oh, I'm beating them. I believe that. And they're coming with that mentality. And when you have that, it creates drama in the ring. It creates excitement. And I think it's for the most part pretty good style matchup. All three fights.
Here in New York, we've had some monumental places where we've held fights: the Hammerstein Ballroom, the Manhattan Center.
You remember Cedric Kushner shows?
Yes, of course.
A lot of fun.
In Brooklyn, we have the Barclays Center, and then the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Now, these places are all wonderful.
Even inside Madison Square Garden, the theater, has its own history.
So what came to your mind when you heard the heart of Times Square, 42nd Street, out in the open?
I was thinking, you're just talking. You're just brainstorming right now. It's impossible logistically. And I was thinking the city won't let you. The city won't let you, The businesses there, they won't let you. But, money talks. Money talks. So it's happening. And like I said, they're going to be doing more shows in exotic locations that are going to get people talking, not just in boxing, but outside of boxing.
Talk to us about the fighters on the card and the level and the brackets of championship
they're
level
all
fighters.
Talented. They're all young. They're talented. The guys who are in their 20s, they're in their prime. So that's Teofimo Lopez, and that's Devin Haney, and that's Ryan Garcia. And the guys who are a little bit into their 30s, they've got incredible experience. Like Arnold Barboza and Jose Ramirez. They both mentioned that they started when they were 8 years old. And they both had well over 100 fights, and they had good amateur upbringings, and so they've got that experience. And they're not early 30s is not old, not by today's standards. Right. So they're not old. Are they past their physical peak, like their athletic prime? They're still in their athletic prime, but if they're not quite as fast or as powerful or explosive as they might have been at, say, age 25, they know who they are now. I think they have more confidence. Like, they know how to prepare. They've done this a few times. They're not going to get all caught up, in the magnitude of the event. I think they're going to show up. So I think that's important. So I think the important thing is, like, we're talking about, with Lopez, we're talking about a Ring Magazine champion. With Arnold Barboza, a top 5 Ring Magazine junior welterweight contender. With Devin Haney, he's number 1 rated at 140 pounds. And at one time, Ramirez was a unified champion and number 1 rated by Ring Magazine. And Ryan Garcia at one time was top 5 at lightweight, and he he made weight against Devin Haney, he'd be our #1 rated junior welterweight. So we'll see what he does at welterweight. But I honestly think it's the best weight for him. Just looking at his bone structure, his height, his frame, his reach, everything. Welterweight is where all these guys need to be, really, but definitely Ryan. I think he'll be faster and stronger, and being back with Eddie Reynoso, big deal. That's real important.
Nice touch on the fighters. Also, on the other side, we have the promoters. You have Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. You have Eddie Hearn and Matchroom. You have GTB, as well as The Ring. What's the energy like at The Ring right now, headquarters overall?
I mean, we're over the moon. We're overjoyed. We like having our name associated with big events. Going back to January with the first annual Ring Magazine year-end awards. We'd never done it like that before, and it was like super classy and lavish. We were in London, and it's amazing to see that, and to see the entire boxing industry come together under the banner of Ring Magazine. And you go back to December in Riyadh, the relaunch party. That was incredible. You see all these covers from going back to the 20s, but blown up, and the logo in neon lights. It's like, wow, So we're overjoyed, but we also know that there's pressure with that, because people are looking at it. People are going to want to get the magazine, and we're like, each magazine has to be better, And getting back into print hasn't been easy. When you're gone for 2 years in publishing, it's hard to get your foot back in that door. So, finding the right distribution company and finding the right printer that can keep up with His Excellency, which is not most of them. You know what I mean? Our deadlines are much faster than a usual monthly publication. So we're having to work our asses off, but we're excited about it. We're invigorated. We got energy.
I want to ask you a question. It might be a little touchy subject for our viewers, but your Ring Magazine champion, Teofimo Lopez, he has been criticized for some of the comments that he has been making.
Yeah.
Just give us your thoughts about this.
I don't like it. There's no need for it. You don't need to do that to sell it. And if that's a vibe happening in the country right now, for whatever reason, don't add to it. I think all these guys, with the exception of Arnold and Jose and Devin, because those guys are pretty straight-laced. They're low-key guys. They're very respectful. I think Ryan has put his foot in his mouth. I know Rolly has put his foot in his mouth, and Teo does it. But it's not them. I know this. They're good men. But you got to make the effort to be a good man. You really do. You have to say no to certain things, and you have to hold yourself to a certain standard. And I know when I'm around them and I'm interviewing them, I don't get that kind of talk. It's something that happens with social media. It's something that happens with content. There's journalism and there's content creation, and they're different things. Journalists are seeking the truth, and they're going to ask questions to get to that truth. Whether they're difficult questions or however you get there. Where content creation, whatever sells, whatever gets views, whatever moves the needle, and I think that feeds. And it's not just them; it's everybody. I see college professors, I see Rhodes Scholars on X and Instagram saying stuff and doing stuff like, what are you doing? And with the way information is disseminated now, it moves fast. It moves faster than the speed of thought. If it's faster than the speed of thought, it's faster than common sense. People need to take a step back before they say certain. So what Teo said about Richardson Hitchens, there's no reason for that. There was no reason for that. And whatever that was with the bananas and bananas and watermelon to Keishan, there's no reason. You're not even fighting him. But even if you were fighting him, there's no reason for that. So, here's one thing I know about Teo. I know he wants to be a better person. I know he's a student of boxing. He's into boxing history. He's talked to me about that, and I've told him. In fact, I brought a book to New York to give to him. And the book that I'm going to give to, I haven't given it to him yet. I forgot to bring it. I was going to give it to him up here. It's about Joe Gans. He's the first African American world boxing champion, lightweight champion. He fought in the turn of the 20th century, the 1910s. The 1900s, the aughts and the tens. And he was super legend, respected by everybody, even racist white people. When they would meet him and see him fight, they were like, this guy is special, this guy's a gentleman. It was an honor for them. I want him to read that. I want him to educate himself. He said he wants to educate himself on boxing. I'm going to give him books about not just about African American fighters, but it's also going to show you the struggle. Because if you think things are hard now, the things that he had to go through to get certain fights, and the things that he had to tolerate and get past and had to deal with, all African Americans did, but him especially being like a public figure. I think it'll be good for Teofimo to read this and learn about it, and let's see if that doesn't change his attitude.
Last Saturday we had Gervonta Tank Davis against Lamont Roach, the fight, the debacle.
Yeah.
Outside of the decision and what the judge did or didn't do, where does Tank fall or stay or go on the pound-for-pound list?
I don't think he can, off of that performance, and it's not like a bad performance. I've known about Lamont Roach since he was like 5-0 and fighting in 6-rounders, right? I've seen him. I called his fights when he was like a preliminary fighter, a prospect, not even a prospect. He hadn't even proved to be a prospect yet. But I've seen the progression. I've talked to him. I know how smart he is. I know he's coming to his own physically and emotionally and just in terms of his maturation. So he's tough. He's tough for anybody. You know, what he did against Tank, he'll do that against any lightweight out there. You know, he'll do that definitely against any junior lightweight out there. So I wasn't shocked that he boxed as well as he did. In fact, I was watching at home. I was upset that he didn't do more over the first half because Tank is the attraction. It's Tank really filling up that arena, and Tank is the house fighter. He really is. He is the A side. I hate to talk about A side and B side, but sometimes there is an A side and a B side, and Tank was the A side in that. So you really got to beat these guys. But what Lamont did over the second half of the fight, it was tremendous. However, having said that, when you are a truly elite fighter, when you are a pound for pound level guy, you can be in there with a brilliant technician, you know, as smart and skilled as Lamont Roach, or even more so, and you still beat him. You still decisively beat him. You do what like Naoya Inoue did against Stephen Fulton. Going into that fight, Fulton's undefeated. Dude had 2 belts. It was Inoue stepping up from bantamweight to junior featherweight. You're like, okay, if this is a competitive or close fight, nobody's going to be shocked if they know who Stephen Fulton is. But Inoue, being truly pound for pound, he's like, nope, there's levels. Yeah, you're world class. I'm elite. I'm pound for pound. Tank didn't look elite. He looked world class. He didn't look elite. So I don't think he should be. He's currently number 8 in the pound for pound rankings, but it's about what you do lately in boxing. I think he should drop out and make room for David Benavidez, because he's been looking really good lately. And he's challenging himself, and he wants to fight the best. He ain't avoiding the smoke. So I like his attitude, too.
Nice. I appreciate your time as always.
I appreciate it, man. Anytime.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good time.
All right. Take care.